Hi, I'm Dana Shoaf, editor of Civil War Times Magazine, and I'm back with Melissa Winn, director of photography, behind the camera, and we're obviously in the National Cemetery on the Antietam National Battlefield. And I want to tell you a story about another one of the 2.1 million men who served in the Union Army. Like I said when we were at the Grove Farm earlier, I don't have a lot of original Civil War stuff. I have a few letters pertaining to the 134th Pennsylvania, including this one that I recently purchased, written by a 21-year-old corporal in Company C of the 134th Pennsylvania Regiment, Henderson Shannon. Melissa's going to come close and show you that letter. Take the shadow off of it there. Okay? Henderson wrote this letter on August 17, 1862, just a month before the Battle of Antietam. And as I mentioned at the Grove Farm, these 9-month regiments were raised in August of 1862 and discharged in May of 1863. So he's a real green soldier when he writes this letter to his mother. He writes it from Camp Simmons near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where the regiment is forming. And he talks about swimming in the Susquehanna River and the excitements he and his comrades felt as the regiment was coming together. And I'm not going to read the whole letter to you, but I am going to read this one passage which I find interesting. So let me begin. Last night there were 6 men poisoned on guard duty, and I heard since then that 4 of them are dead. The fellow came along with water on the inside of the camp and told them that he was to send water to water the guards. As soon as they drank it, they commenced to vomit and could not stand. There were 6 of them drank before they discovered it. The officer of the day went around and told them to take his life any way at all, so they killed him. Some were also poisoned with pie. There are people every day, about 1,000, in selling pies, pears, apples, and everything. And after they poisoned some of the men, you would have laughed to see the soldiers kicking them out of camp. The baskets flew sky high. An old fellow was selling patent medicine, and they got after him and broke his bottles all to smash, and smashed his buggy all to pieces. And he made a narrow escape himself. So you may imagine we have to run a great risk in all the water we drink. It is almost as dangerous here as it is down in Virginia. Now, to me, this reads like an excited new recruit writing maybe about camp gossip. I haven't cross-researched this in local newspapers around Harrisburg to see if this actually occurred or not, or if this was just camp rumor, or in fact, some soldiers did get poisoned and someone was killed in retribution. But at very least, you get a sense of these camps and how large they were, and of the thousands of people that flocked to these camps to sell these soldiers food and fruit and all sorts of patent medicine and everything else. When I got this letter, I went to the National Archives to research more about Henderson Shannon. And I was interested to learn that on October 30th, 1862, he got sick. Probably when he was camped on the Grove Farm where we started earlier today. He was sent to a hospital in Sharpsburg that day, and later was transferred to the General Hospital in Frederick, Maryland, about 24 miles east of here, and put in Ward B. He died there of typhoid fever on November 5th, 1862. And I was even more startled to find that he was buried here in the Antietam National Cemetery, not very far at all from where I live. And I'm standing in front of his grave right now. You can see his first name is misspelled, is miswritten as Anderson, because when he wrote Henderson, he collapsed the tops of his H's so they looked like A's. So that's how this mistake occurred. But I cross-referenced his name with the information here at the cemetery and at the National Archives, and that in fact is his grave. I also found out that when he died, he had never been paid by the Army. These 9-month men from Pennsylvania got a $25 enlistment bounty and of course were paid every month. He had received none of that. And all that pay was sent home to his surviving family, his next of kin. But I'm sure that his mother, who he wrote this letter to, would have much rather had him return home than to get that money. Before we leave the cemetery, Melissa's going to pan slowly around, and you can see the hundreds of graves that are here, all of Union soldiers in this section. There are some modern military burials here as well. It's a very solemn and serene place, And the centerpiece of the cemetery is this colossal statue nicknamed Old Simon. Old Simon in total is 44 feet tall. The soldier itself is about 21, 22 feet high. And it was dedicated September 17th, 1880. You'll notice that Old Simon is facing north, where all these men came from, in the direction of, of course, their loyalty and the side that they fought for. And he's also wearing an overcoat. And I've been always told that when you see a statue wearing an overcoat like that, it symbolizes protection and oversight of the cemetery or the battlefield in all seasons of the year. I hope, the next time that you come to Antietam, please come to the cemetery. It's a very, it's a somber yet inspiring place, and it's worthy of you spending some time in. And perhaps you'll even find time to walk by to grave 4057 and pay your respects to Henderson Shannon. Melissa and I are going to sign off from now. We're going to get some lunch, and then we're going to join you later today at one, maybe two more locations east of the mountain, and more stories related to the Antietam campaign of the fall of 1862. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later today.